Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are not doing a monthly plan with me, but a transfer. The idea of a transfer is that at one point you run out of pages in your bullet journal and you have to transfer into a new one. That means you have to take the information from 6 months or a year into a whole new journal. So that's what we're doing today. I will take you through the entire process that I go through to transfer to my new bullet journal. This process really works for me. You can definitely try it out, see if it works for you as well. It might also be possible that it doesn't work for you and you might have to find another way to make the transfer work. Anyway, I hope this gives you a little bit of inspiration and a little bit of help. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And now without further ado, let's start the transfer. Alright, so to know what I want to do with my next bullet journal, I am going to look for a non-used page at the back of my bullet journal. Here, perfect. What I'm going to do is just go through my entire bullet journal, see what spreads worked, which didn't work, which I enjoyed, which helped me, and which spreads didn't. And I'm going to write all that down so that in my new setup for my new bullet journal, I can clearly see which spreads I have to put in the journal and which I can leave out. It's not a bullet journal without a pretty title, so let's start with that. The title says transfer because when you're going to a new bullet journal, you are transferring all the information from your old bullet journal into your new bullet journal, so that's why the title says transfer. Okay, now I'm going to make 2 sections. My chair was squeaking, so I just got another one. So I'm going to make 2 sections right now, one with the spreads I will keep and one with the spreads I will skip. So I'm going to literally call them keep and skip. Let's just add a pop of color. Okay, so that's it. That's the base of our spread. And now we will go through the entire journal to see which goes in here and which goes in here. I started this journal the 1st of February of this year. I use 2 bullet journals a year, and because I am still a student, I go from February until September and from October until January because that is how my semesters work. I think when I start working, I might start just in January with the beginning of the new year. So this journal actually had a key and an index already printed inside of it, but I didn't use it. My new bullet journal has those printed pages too, and I think this time I might be using them, but that's for another video. The first spread of this bullet journal is my vision board. I really enjoyed making this, but it was a lot of work. I have been referring back to it to see if I was still keeping up with my goals, but I don't think I'm going to do this again in this bullet journal simply because I don't have the time. So we are going to our spread. I'm going to put a little ribbon in there so we can easily find it, and then skip the vision board. When I transfer into a new bullet journal, I also look in my previous bullet journals. I think I have 4 of them now, maybe even 5. And I see in the skipped spreads if in this season of my life I might be reusing some of those. So that's why I really want to write down everything that I skip so I can easily refer back to it and see which spreads I haven't been using in my bullet journal, but might want to try again. I always start my bullet journal with a key and a quote. I am going to use the key that is pre-printed in my new bullet journal, so I won't have to make a new one, but I also can't really say I'm going to skip it. So I'm going to write it with keep, and then put a little check mark next to it. And that's the same for my index. So the quote I also want to keep, I always choose a Bible verse that will lead me through the 6 months that my bullet journal will be with me. Last time I chose Be a Light for All to See. It really helped me to focus on being positive, also towards other people, being kind, being friendly, being helpful. We really have to be a light, especially in these dark times, and this quote really helped me to focus on that. Next up, the grid spacing cheat sheet. I really like how this looks, I really like making it, and I wish I used it, but I don't. Why? Because it is useful to know how to divide your page, but most of the time I work with titles, or maybe sometimes titles at the bottom of the page, and then it just doesn't add up anymore. So yeah, it's not working for me, and I'm going to skip that in my next bullet journal. Also, my next bullet journal has the middle of the page and of every edge already printed in the journal. It's very small, you don't notice it in a spread, but it's very helpful to set up your spreads, so I won't be using this anymore. Next up, my goals section. As you can see, I've really tried to write out my goals and also check if I met a goal or not. I think the goals that I haven't met, I will just transfer into my new bullet journal. But I have been reading my Bible almost every day, so I think that's a goal met. And then starting my thesis, I didn't get to that, but I will just transfer it, and then you put an arrow to the right to indicate that you're transferring it into a new bullet journal. So goals, keep. Next up, the YouTube and TikTok ideas. I've been doing a lot of YouTube, less TikTok this semester, so I'm just going to transfer these ideas that I haven't done yet. And the little waves means I am working on it, but I will still transfer them so I can put a little check next to it when I finish it. The things to check out spread has also been very intensively used, especially for podcasts apparently. I'm going to take you guys a little bit through what I've been reading and watching and listening to. So I really wanted to check out the new show Bridgerton on Netflix. I've really enjoyed that, as well as New Amsterdam. I don't know what the N is doing there, it's just New Amsterdam. Then me and my husband decided we wanted to watch the entire Marvel universe, so we're not ready yet, so I'm going to transfer it into my new bullet journal, and then hopefully I'll be able to put a check mark next to it. About books, I really don't read that much, but I started with Audible this year, and I've really been enjoying the book of Craig Rochelle, Winning the War in Your Mind. Now I am reading a Belgian book by the Volksjury. It's true crime. I really love true crime. It's kind of my secret passion, so I'm enjoying this, but as you can see, I haven't finished it yet, so I will transfer it into my new bullet journal. Podcasts, I listen to a lot of podcasts. My favorite one has to be As For Me and My House. It is a podcast done by a husband and a wife. Milena and Jordan are their names. They have 2 kids, they have a beautiful home. She's also a YouTuber, and their podcast is just about a little bit about everything: family, relationships, marriage, the Bible. They also do Bible studies on there. I really love them. As you can see, the places section I haven't been using that much, so I don't think I'm going to transfer it, but we'll see about that. So the checkout is a keep. My year in Polaroids. This is a funny one. I got my wisdom tooth pulled. and that really characterized the whole month actually. So I put that picture, then obviously a picture from our wedding, which is not a Polaroid, but still counts. And this is a picture of me and my mom packing my stuff right before the wedding, before the big move. I haven't been able to put a Polaroid in every month, but that's okay. I really love looking back at this, and I'm definitely going to do it again in my new bullet journal. Next up is my wish list. I have not been writing a lot in here, but I'm still going to transfer it into my new bullet journal, simply because I really need to intentionally distinguish between what I need and what I want. I tend to exaggerate the needs while it's actually just a want. So I think this is a really good exercise. Every time you think you want something, don't just go buy it because you think you need it. Write it down first, distinguish between want and need, and then really think about it before you spend your money on it. So wish list, keep. Next up, my schedule. I didn't fill this one in because I didn't have school. I wanted to read my Bible every day, that's certain. I think I'm going to do it again. I'm going to try it again because I do have school now. I do have a very strict schedule starting October. So yeah, this one is a keep. I also really like the layout of this one, so I might just recreate it in my new bullet journal. Next up, the self-care spread. I didn't really refer back to this. I don't know. I think the quote is very important, but a quote is something that I need to see in my monthly or weekly spreads. I don't really refer back to this if I need self-care, so I think I'm not going to recreate this one. Not that self-care is not important, it's very important, but I think there are some seasons in my life that I really have to remind myself about it, and sometimes it just works for me to take care of myself and I don't need a specific reminder. Next up, my future log. This is a difficult one. As you can see, I don't really write a lot in there, but at the same time, it really is a must in your bullet journal. When I plan something ahead, I usually just put it in my phone, in my Google Calendar, but I can't skip this one, so I'm still going to keep it. Voila. The brain dump. I didn't use it that much in this bullet journal, but usually I do, so I'm going to keep it, try to use it a little bit more, so my little scribbles don't get all over my bullet journal, but are centralized in just one point. Okay, so that was actually it for the setup spreads. Now I am just going to go through the months real quick. This isn't going to take too long. Just see what spreads I tried out, which worked, which didn't work, which I maybe want to try again. So this was February. It was the girl boss theme. I really enjoyed this. It was doodle heavy, but if you have a little bit of time on your hands, it's fun to do. The vertical monthly layout, definitely going to bring these back when I go back to school. The mood trackers. I've been skipping these lately, but I think I might bring them back because it's very important to track your mood, especially with some big changes in my life. I am going back to school. I'm doing a very intense workout program to strengthen my back, and I am doing a very strict diet for my bowels. So those are a lot of changes in a really short amount of time, so I really have to track my mood, see if I'm still coping with everything, and just be intentional about it. So I'm going to write that down. Mood tracker. It's not so much of a keep, more like a bring back. And then this weekly layout really didn't work for me. I'm going to skip the weekly to-dos and just stick to the monthly to-dos. Why? Because I think most of my to-dos I plan per month, and then I just write them on the day that I want to do them. But if I write it in a certain week and I write too much, as you can see here, I tend to forget things, not get them done, and then I feel really bad. I don't feel productive. So I'm just going to plan monthly like here, and then I will transfer it from the monthly to-do list right onto my days. I think that works better for me. So to remind myself of this, I am going to skip weekly to-dos and keep monthly to-dos. It's possible that during the year I might switch this back up, but for now I'm going to do it like that. This was my wedding plan with me. I really enjoyed making this. I didn't follow up very well because it was a very intense time. But still, it helped with planning the wedding, especially the master to-do list. Just getting it on paper, getting an overview really helped me. Next up was March, the confetti theme. Again with the monthly to-do list and the vertical layout. Loved it. Mood tracker. I tried a monthly habit tracker in this month. This doesn't work for me. As you can see, a lot has been left blank. I tried to keep up, but it's not that easy because every morning when I open my bullet journal, I'm just in my weekly, and I don't tend to go back to my monthly spreads unless I really specifically am looking for something. But a habit tracker is just something that has to pop in my eye so I can fill it in and be consistent with it. So I'm going to keep the weekly habit trackers and ban the monthly habit trackers. April, the Easter theme with the Easter bunny. Really cute. I used coloring pencils in this one. Haven't done that before or after this month. But it's cute, it's pretty. I might use that again. Here's the Align a Day spread. As you can see, I really haven't been filling this in. But also this was April, it was the month before the wedding, everything was very busy. I didn't really have the time to journal. Doesn't mean I don't think you should make some time for it, so I'm going to try this spread again, but with a twist. You can see that in my September plan with me, so definitely check that out. May was, I think, my favorite setup of this bullet journal. I really love the Star Wars theme. It might be a little bit geeky, but I love Star Wars, and I loved drawing all the droids and the Death Star, and yeah. I also love the color scheme. It's happy, but also like very spacey, so I love it. This weekly setup worked very well for me because I was able to plan according to the hours. So I think I might reuse this one when I go back to school because it's easier to plan every hour than just smooched together in a little square. So might do this one again. This was our honeymoon, so I haven't been writing a lot in here, but that's okay. June, I actually took a YouTube break during this month because of the wedding, because of living together, our honeymoon. But of course, I did make a bullet journal spread. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably have seen these spreads already, but I will take you through them. It was the first time I tried this kind of horizontal monthly spread. I loved it. I've been recreating it in the following months, so that's been fun. I have been trying all kinds of layouts for my weekly spreads. Just all different, a little bit of experimenting. that was nice. Then the July setup. I recreated this from my mom's bullet journal that I did in May. I did her bullet journal because she was helping me with the wedding and I wanted to help her out in some kind of way. So I did this theme and I loved it that much that I recreated it in July. Again with the horizontal monthly setup. The cleaning task spread really helped me, but during the summer I haven't been cleaning as consistent as before, and now when I go back to school we are going to divide the cleaning tasks between me and my husband a little bit more, so I think I'm going to recreate this spread in a daily, weekly and monthly version, so we can also indicate which tasks are for me and which are for my husband, and we can just color them in when we did them. Another schedule that I tried. Again, I do schedule when I go to school. Doesn't work when I don't go to school. This weekly setup also really worked for me. It's a Dutch door setup. I have all my monthly aspects in this area and then my weeks in this area, and I can just flip through my weeks while I still have my habit tracker overview and the to-do overview. Really love this. Finally, August. Now finally, I do have September, but I haven't started that one yet, so you might have to see that in my next video. The getting back in shape spread, I didn't really follow because I have been having some problems with my back, so this is not really applicable to my life anymore. The snacks didn't really work for me because I have Pinterest and I collect all my snacks on Pinterest. So I'm just going to keep doing that and skip this spread. I recreated the weekly spread again in August. Love this. Now let's write down real quickly what we have seen in the monthly setups. So the Align a Day, I want to try again. The May weekly really worked for me and the July weekly really worked for me, so I'm going to write those down. The cleaning tasks I want to bring back, maybe a little bit different, but I like the idea. Then what I'm going to skip, the workout schedule just isn't for me right now. And then the snacks spread also didn't really work for me. Okay, so now we have an entire spread with everything we're going to keep and everything we're going to skip. What I'm going to do next is take a marker and number every one of the keep spreads in which order I want them in my new bullet journal. Alright, so since my key and my index are already pre-printed in my new bullet journal, these will be 1 and 2. Next, I want to combine my goals and my quote. I forgot to write down the quote, so I'm just going to do it like this. So that will be 3 and 4. I want to combine those because the quote that I choose for my new bullet journal will probably reflect my goals for those 6 months, so I want them next to each other. Then the Polaroids are 5 and 6. The checkout spread I'm going to combine with the idea spread because it's all kind of some brainstorm spreads where I can write down random ideas or recommendations I got from people, so those will be 7 and 8. Then the wish list, I don't really have anything to combine that with, so I'm going to put my schedule next to my wish list. They're not really related, but it just works like that. Next up is my future log, which will be 11 and 12. And then my brain dump, 13 and 14. These will go in my monthly setups, so I'm not going to do that when I set up my new bullet journal. They're just a reminder of what really worked for me and what I should try again. And these, maybe one day I will try them again, maybe I won't, but for now they're in the skip section. Okay, so that's it. I hope this helped you to transfer into your own new bullet journal, whether you're doing it right now or another time of the year. This system really works for me. Write everything down, get an overview of what we should keep and what we should skip, what we should transfer, and this way I can easily and quickly set up my new bullet journal. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Lots of love!